have one of Portland's most up-and-coming poets here, so please give a big round of applause and help me welcome up Robbins.
Hi. Yeah. All this time, where'd he go? All this time, this guy I don't really know, I could just tell he hated my guts. Why does this guy hate me so much? So I'm going to perform some poems. I want to thank Johnny, and I want to thank Nina, and I want to thank all of you for coming. All the people I know, which is a lot of you, and all the ones I don't. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to me. This is called Silk. If you could gently bring the pads of your fingers to bear on water's brimming cup, you would feel what silk wishes it could be, to give no resistance on account of such smoothness until you are so deep in it you could drown. First shot. Chevy slipped the metal through the then virginal crook of my elbow. Crusty patches of snow outside the trailer sighed their cold morphine sighs. The way you can become someone you wouldn't even know from one day to tomorrow, or relate to, or even recognize after long enough. This cryptic image you will one day grow into, the BD logo, the bouquet of syringes poking out from an overfilled sharps bucket, little hepatitis-tipped thorns shiny, like a bright red Mustang inventing light's exponential growth with its hood. These implements mutate soft skin into premature oldness and brittle glass, as if my youth, a slow liquid, could grow so thin that it would shatter. This poem, this next one, I wrote this when I was 18 years old, and I was looking through these old binders, and I discovered that not everything I wrote when I was 18 was horrible. So, this is called Mentally Cut. Madness! Circumcise the mind! Flush it through the mouth as botched, toothy blowjobs, enraged animal screams. Shriek cunt at a nun! Even her habit blushes, she swallows such a cringe. And I am cotton candy handjobs in a fog of Percocet tickles. Opiate lightning bolts illuminate the real. What purpose? Said existence, tension, and sobs. Hell is here upon us in sleep, gnashing teeth, writhing as in brimstone a billion years. Snip away the frontal lobe, the foreskin of the brain, like Rick Murphy in the cuckoo's nest. Smother me, big man, dominate me, unflinching! My day started out really poorly. I was supposed to see my therapist this morning, and he flaked. Like, what's going on in your life when your counselor stands you up? So I told myself I'd come work it out here. So, I'm mostly going to read stuff I've never read before. But I read
That'll show him.
This is called Heroin. 1. What can I tell you you don't already know if you're a junkie, or could possibly understand if you're not? Well, the sky does not part with a chorus of angels heralding the plunger of each shot hitting home, with every tarry syringe into track, but a bit of God is sighted just the same. The hustle bustle of pawn tickets and hey, you got any spare change? It does carry its share of shame, but anesthesia is numbness enough to quell that scarlet tide. See, I think of shame as red, as in blushing red, not the deep red of blood drawn back by the plunger of the next syringe. And now it is pushed forth. Here it is, you hear it, those angels sing. Their wings now whoosh warm currents along my skin. Feathers thin as Bible paper caress my flushed cheek. Oh, savor this touch. Climb without descending. The acme reached, a stubborn gale threatens to topple through fragrant pine. Down and down a Jenga rock slide, my stiff and limp form to the gritty base of the mountain. The bliss of ascension through cloud break to gaze at the blanketed valley below. Is the metaphor too blunt? Is the needle too dull, too barbed. Songbirds sing from every tree, crickets fiddle their violin legs, the grasshopper and the ant lays in equal measure, nature is on the nod. The crystal streams serve silt in its rush, its banks of coffee ground soil are crumbs to mix up a darker solution than mine for marrow of earth to suckle. A woodpecker's brief metronome keeps bursts of time, tachycardic tempo of my heart with each vinegar-scented shot. I rub dirt between my palms and say, Earth, of which I am born and to which my crumbled bones are owed, anoint this fragile bag of skin and hold me from the precipice. Amen. I'm going to read a couple a little calmer before I pass out. So, this is this new book I'm in. I have some chapbooks, I have a CD. If you want something. So, 80 poems. It's made up of 2 long pieces, Summer and My Louder Thoughts, and 47 poems. I'm going to read one from Summer and My Louder Thoughts. This is another heroine poem. This is called The Sacred Smackhead. On sidewalks, blacktop, there's no softness. In a swept-up shuffle of condom wrappers, leaf crumbs, cigarette butts, and bugs and dirt, a halo grows in violent light until this angelic corruption of the routine chokes off foot traffic. Be still, ye racing, pounding flow of tromping, dead-eyed humanity. Regard the holy junkie as his nod becomes the Buddha. Sorry. Okay. Next, I'd like to read some of my dream song imitations. Do I have any John Berryman fans here? Sort of. Okay, the dream song imitations. Number 1, synesthesiac. I am become, once the sleep comes on, a sort of color taster. See, I know no limit to the potato chip essence drawn upon a song tonight at a show. So surprised was I to feel a feeling thus. Why's this happening to us? What I meant to say was this. It hit my brain like a toothy kiss when the man at the mic split his mouth and wasted air on spilling words that hit my ear with a smelly taste. No, I haven't made it clear. It was as if all of Frito-Lay spilled its salt across my nose, hissing, eat it, you fucking queer, and try for once to just straight say what you mean rather than compose. Number 2. Nestled investments of an impudent, godless lot. You see, I'm trying to wake. Everyone's got some thirst to slake, and everyone these days has gone lawless, and too many of us are going for broke or going up in smoke. Radiant was the day we washed ashore that cool, calm eyes had never seen before. Lonesome as the girl plying the pole like naked matched the worth of dollar bills. Stared blankly she, her vulva shiny. Still, the smaller heart is part of the larger whole. She will find her pillow when tonight she has deboarded the stage, powdered her toes. There's something to be said for sight when it lights upon the glow of those who burn for what comes next, and what comes after that, like sex. Number 3. These days, when everything out of place is a bomb, a flowery purse, a pop bottle brimming with spit, all designed to hasten the end of better, the dawn of for worse, to birth a world of shit, or at least crown a cliche king. Who here has authority to, on behalf of humankind, abdicate the greater mind, the too long worn and too tight shoe to undo night's grasp on day? To eradicate any trace where half-hearted effort blurs what's dumb and what is wit, or technicolor versus gray, while flames from an unswept flue smoke the sky's eye blind. Number 14. Insidious, hisses the antiquarian, spotting a lesser fanged woodworm. Will eat up my heirlooms over the shorter term, will spell my doom over the longer. being what in a nightmare I knew was hatching deep in the oaken stew of an 1890s bureau, the kind you keep for keeps, the kind you rub a lemoned cloth into and murmur sweet, sweet declarations if a furniture fetish is your inclination. He seizes up a metal-tipped and violent-looking cane and thrusting bites his lip as he stabs the worm again and again. So, how long have I been up here? Okay, I have two. I want to make sure I don't forget something I'm meant to read. I'm going to read two more poems, because one of them's kind of long, and I might faint, literally, while I read it, but I'm going to do my best.
Deep breath first.
This poem is that deep breath. This is called Teeth. Teeth. Dream dictionaries will tell you that to dream of teeth falling out like corn, wet and bright, is to dream of death, of yours or that of a loved one, a lover, a parent, a child, but most especially of yourself. You hold these bloody kernels and think, that's strange. The colors of blood and calm mix like oil shook into water and float along the enamel in a cool, rusty sheen. This really is strange. You reach up to your gums with numb, dream fingers, and bicuspids slip out with no more pull than a pubic hair. Pop. And then come the canines, and with these there's no pop, but a sound like you'd imagine a spent cock might make as it falls from out your other. That is, if you were to place your ear or a super sensitive and hideously expensive piece of recording equipment, you know, the kind a doctor of psychology might use when she interviews you about your dreams, an inch or two away from the orifice in question. Finally, with your gums as nude as a newborn's, you step out of the walk-in closet you had when you were 6. You know, the one where you peed in bottles until your mother noticed and told you that that was dirty. And there's this angry mammalian thing that springs from behind the first bed you jerked off in, springs for the throat again and again, and you can't even defend without dropping your teeth. You're witnessing progressive breakdown. My throat's seizing up in protest of, and I'm sweating like mad. I'm going to make it as far through the poem as I can. I might just have to say it instead of performing it. This is called I Want to Say How I Feel and Be Done With It Forever. This poem was like my emotional exorcism this spring. After a long period of sitting in the denial aspect of post-traumatic stress disorder, I sort of woke myself back up through writing this poem. So I'm not going to be able to give it 100%, but I'll do my best. Today I'm sleepy, a listing daisy. Not every field below ecstatic has to be a rain cloud. As I reached for a regal crown of green broccolini, the sprinklers sparked their mist endowed its gentleness upon my grateful skin. Emergency! Roomy with flu, sweat, and spike, I felt beauty in delirium, its waviness like filigree. Thin cotton ER sheets dripping broken fever fears, certainty that I was close to silence. Ameliorate the grayest day, a steady hand, a soft embrace. A mouse's disembodied claws crawl along my underskin, surly red you gouge the sand, a stubborn final boot heel. Like blue-black shit, this crumpled tongue is starched and stuck against itself. Lasciviously I look at me. Mr. Robbins, you're trying to seduce me, aren't you? My hand slipped past elastic curly hair, a gargled hitch. Tug and 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 kaboom! The slowing breath of aftershock, a gym sock dense with pump and sigh. The simplest things feel layered beyond any measure of chaos, complexity, and when I think about shooting crystal meth, my nuts crawl inside me just a little, and I quiver like an arrow through my gut. I quiver like an arrow through my gut. Threadbare, bootskin, shelf of shale, slipping, threadbare, bootskin, shelf of shale. Now you're to the meat of me. I beseech thee, bind me, teach me, spoil me with your rod. This hot metal noise pierces my ears, abscess of mind, dribble on the double. Fevered with thirst, I found a door that was neither bolted nor kicked in. A sexless, silent figure gave me a tall glass of sand. We are breaking boundaries 1,000 feet per second. I wake from my nap, everything seems to be in order. I found my best friend dead in my tub, and I want to say how I feel and be done with it forever. I burst through the door, frantic. Hot pink alarm bells screamed at traffic adrenal with panic. I had yanked him like a sack of wet sand through a spot mid-backward bright. Hot pain bloomed like an angry carnation. It should have been prom night. We should have been the spotlight dance, but he went from love of my life to this lump of dead flesh. Just then across town, my bus was stalled. This fucking angry drunk was ordered off. His tall can of cheap beer sloshed his fist against the air. He said, "I'm not getting off this fucking bus." Meanwhile, Keith was getting off the bus. I melted his face in a spoon with a Bic and forced him through a needle as the answer to himself. Oh, Ross, you gotta let that day rest. Hammer its squareness through the roundness of stillness that I might feel from moment to end without piercing this blister. The finer moments now are defined by absence, by what I'm not feeling. Some emptinesses are mostly noteworthy for holding the shape of what formed them. But it's bedtime. So I pull my blanket chinward and flip on my mental television. It's the after-school special. The shooter entered the classroom and erased one by all these chalkboard scratches we call ourselves. I drifted, bloodied on the floor, away and sinking through my pillow, off to sleep. Thanks, you guys.